You're listening to the ColbyCheeZe Gaming Podcast, where I talk about whatever the hell I want, but mostly League of Legends and a bit of Minecraft.
Yo, what's up guys? This is ColbyCheeZe. It is April 29th, 2011, and this is my 8th gaming podcast. So welcome. We've got a couple of things to go over since last week. Lots of changes in League of Legends from this latest patch. Lots of different remakes and kind of reworkings of different champions. Of course, the new champion came out. Mr. Small Rat in a Flimsy Metal Machine is his name. Yes, that's his name. And also wanted to kind of talk about some of the competitive meta that's kind of revolving around some of these latest NESL games if you haven't already seen them, and just a few other things. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start off with League of Legends and some of the changes that were done there. We do have some patch notes up, which I'm going to go ahead and link those. You can kind of check them out while I'm talking if you'd like. But they did make lots of changes to various champions. So let me just start at the top. We've got Alistar, who got pretty much a complete remake, and they've been talking about doing this remake for probably since the beginning of the year, to be honest. And I was really not thinking they were actually going to implement this, because Alistar was in a great position before. He didn't really need any changes at all. I mean, his late game damage is pretty low. Basically, he's a CC tank is what he is. That's his role, is like a support CC that is hard to kill and can just kind of support your carries. So what they did was, I guess they were wanting to give Alistar more of an ability to kind of farm minions. So they gave him this passive where every time he casts a spell, he goes into a trample where he'll start trampling minions. Now what I've found is I actually found a really good detailed thread on these changes to Alistar by a guy who actually plays nothing but Alistar, and he feels these were a huge nerf to Alistar. So I kind of linked his synopsis of Alistar down there, and you can kind of read that over if you'd like. But essentially, the trample is his new passive, and so he no longer does amazing damage to towers, which I think is pretty bad. Like, I really liked his old passive. So you can no longer do that really cool Alistar build where you just go straight up attack speed and go kill towers all day, backdoor Alistar. So no more doing that fun stuff. And now instead you have this ability that every time you cast an ability, it stuns you for like half a second, but then you start attacking creeps. I don't understand why they would make an ability that Alistar casts stun himself. Seems kind of odd to me, but maybe it's just an oversight in the development. I don't know how they really got that past testing, but so it does a little bit of damage, not a lot, like just barely, like a little nick damage over the next 3 seconds. Nothing really noticeable to anyone. Mostly, probably, I guess in the early game, I'd say it's decent. The other thing is that his headbutt can actually shoot him, or you can actually attack creeps with your headbutt now. So this is actually kind of good for his roaming game. So now you can actually go and headbutt a creep to get next to a champion, and then run up and hit him with your Q spell. And that's where normally before you weren't able to get in there into range to hit that Q. Then that's kind of where that's going to be useful. Other than that, it's I guess not too much else other than trying to last hit with that ability. And as far as his pulverize, they did change it a little bit as well. Unfortunately, they reduced his damage by quite a large amount. So not only did they reduce the damage of his headbutt and his pulverize, or not just his headbutt, they also reduced his pulverize. So I don't know, that's kind of retarded if you ask me. They even reduced his AP ratio, making him less of an AP carry, but they gave him AP ratio on his trample. So I don't know what the heck they're trying to do with this change. Honestly, it seems like the most retarded change you could possibly implement in the game for Alistar, since he was in a great position already. They did increase the range of pulverize a little bit, but from what I hear, you can't even tell. It's such a small amount that it's not even noticeable. And then they even reduced by half the stun duration of his pulverize. So overall, a complete nerf to Alistar. I was actually talking to one person who said they felt that he was a little bit stronger with his roam game now, just because of the fact that they can headbutt into the creep wave, and the trample does a little bit of extra damage. However, overall, it is a pretty huge nerf to Alistar, so definitely not going to be playing him anymore until maybe someone proves me wrong. But anyhow, they also did some other changes to other champions. They massively nerfed Fiddle, from what I hear. He can't actually jungle as well, and he has less range on his drain now. His ultimate does less damage, and I think his Dark Wind actually does more damage now, so that's, I guess, kind of a plus. It does 5 hits at all levels, so it's kind of more decent for farming early game. But overall, from what I've heard, the Fiddle stick changes are pretty big nerfs, and he's really even less viable than he was before, so that's pretty unfortunate. Lots of nerfs going out this patch to all of our favorite heroes, if those were your favorite heroes. Xin Zhao, on the other hand, while everyone else is feeling the nerf bat, Xin Zhao getting some pretty big buffs, actually, giving him basically a passive attack speed boosted without actually having to activate your ability. You're always going to have that attack speed, so that's pretty awesome that they did that to Xin Zhao. And I have a friend who plays Xin Zhao quite a bit, and he's saying it's really nice change to him. And also, like, his crescent sweep gives him so much armor and magic resist based on how many opponents that you hit with it. So basically, each champion you hit at max level, it's going to give you 13 armor and magic resist. So that's what, over 60 once you get 5 champions, if you can run into like a 5-person fight. And so that is huge for Xin Zhao. Very tanky DPS buff to him. So definitely, if you're playing Xin Zhao, or if you haven't already, I'd say go ahead and give him a whirl, and he's probably going to give you a little bit more of an edge than he did previously. They also changed the pirate quite a bit. They took away the ability to deny. Thank God, man. I hate playing against pirates who go top lane and deny you with that stupid ability. There's no way to counter it. You can't deny him back, obviously. So basically, you are solo, but you're lower level than your duo lanes, because there's just honestly nothing you can do about it. So that's great that they took that out. They also did some other changes. They massively nerfed his ultimate, which does way less than it used to, like way less slow and a little bit less damage. I think maybe more damage if they stand in the entire thing, but nobody ever does that. So kind of they kind of overshot the nerf to his ultimate quite a bit. And I did read a thread that they were actually going to kind of look at that, or I don't know if they're going to look at it. They admitted that they overshot it a bit, so they may actually tweak that a little bit more. And then on his parlay, they reduced the damage on it quite a bit, so he doesn't get nearly as much damage on his parlay. They reduced the cooldown a little bit, so it's a little bit more spammy in team fights. However, overall, it's not as useful as it was before, so you definitely probably won't see crit plank being the build of choice. Now it's probably going to be more of a Trinity Force and then Infinity Edge type of setup. So definitely still works with crit, it's just not as effective. And I think that picking up that Trinity Force would probably be a better build. But overall, I haven't played him yet since the changes, so I can't say that for sure. That's just kind of my initial thoughts based on what I've heard people playing him and kind of what I've seen from the notes as well. The other, I guess, cool thing about him is that they increased the damage on his Grog Slow Blade by quite a bit. It's went up to about 23 per second from 18 at max, and so that's pretty cool. It also applies one more tick, and that's pretty nice overall. And oh yeah, and the raised morale, that was actually a pretty big buff to it. So he gets a lot more movement speed and attack speed, and he doesn't actually have to kill creeps, obviously, since they remove that so that he cannot deny any longer. So I don't know, it's kind of like they buffed him in some areas and then pretty massively nerfed him in other areas. I don't know if he's stronger now or if he's weaker, if he's in just the same place. Overall, you're probably gonna have to wait and see, but I don't think it was too I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna have to see more of it. There were so many champions changed this patch that I just haven't been able to assess them totally, but my initial perception is that he feels a little less strong now, because he's not really a great solo laner. He can't jungle. He's a bad dual laner, so overall he doesn't really have a role in the laning phase. So that's kind of my main issue with the pirate right now, is he just can't. There's nowhere he could lane effectively. So that's kind of how I feel about him right now. But again, we're gonna have to wait and see. And if somebody comes up and turns uber pro with Gangplank all of a sudden, then I'll change my mind. But until then, I think it's actually a pretty big nerf to Gangplank at this point in time. So let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, they actually did a pretty big nerf to Ryze, who honestly didn't need it. I still don't understand why people think Ryze is that good of a champion. Yes, he's strong, etc., etc. I already talked about this last time, but they definitely a huge nerf to his Q. They took off 100 damage per Q on his ultimate. Or not his ultimate, but on his Q. So basically, every time you shoot that Q, which is his shortest cooldown, is the main source of damage, he's gonna be doing 100 less damage. He was already pretty worthless. Like, you can't win games on Ryze consistently. I would love for somebody to prove me wrong, but you just can't consistently win games on Ryze and solo queue. It's just not gonna happen. Like, unless there's some miracle or something. He just doesn't have what it takes to carry a team. He's very team reliant, and now he does even less damage. So definitely not a competitive pick anymore, I'd say. Big nerf to Ryze there. Sona, though, did get a huge buff, man. She can now slow for 40%, and they also increased her aura by quite a large amount. So up from 14, they gave her 20 increased damage and AP. So pretty nice changes to Sona overall. I used to play Sona quite a bit back in the day, right before she was nerfed, when she was OP mode, you know, with the locket. God, I loved locket. I wish I had my locket on Sona. They need to bring locket back, and then like there's a passive on locket, and it says only equipable by Sona, and maybe it's like some other carries, I guess, you know. But that would be awesome. Oh well. A guy can dream, right? So that's kind of the changes overall. But the new champion that came out, I'm not sure how I feel about him. I haven't seen him enough. I haven't actually been seeing people like insta-lock him like they usually do with new champions, so I don't know if he's really not that popular. He was only 4,800 IP, so a little bit less than most new champions come out. However, I don't know. He doesn't really have any team utility. He does have a slow if you can hit it with a skill shot. Overall, he's going to be based more around just keeping that max, you know, that overheat going and whatnot. But I think he definitely is not a very good like tank overall. You have to build him more of an AP tank, so you definitely have to get AP for him to be effective. I don't know. I can't make a righteous assessment just since I haven't actually played a lot of him or haven't seen him played a lot overall. So I think he's not that strong just from seeing him and other people play him. But again, I'm going to have to see some more of him, because that's kind of how it felt with Aurelia. Everyone thought Aurelia was really weak for the longest time until they figured out how to build her correctly and go top lane, etc. And then she's like overpowered powerhouse now. So who knows? Maybe he'll turn into that, or maybe he'll just continue to be poopy, you know, like middle of the pack, not that useful type champion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you been playing a lot of him? Have you seen him played a lot? And do you have an opinion on that that I'm not too informed of yet? Let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely discuss that and talk about it more next week whenever I've had a better chance to more explore builds on him and see some people excel or fail on him. Anyhow, the other thing I want to talk about is some of the competitiveness going on with the EU versus the US teams. So if you've been watching my commentaries, you know I've been doing the commentating for the National Esports League, and so there's quite a bit of stuff going on there. And that CLG just completely got shut down by the EU metagame, where they do the dual carry and the dual support with a you know, just any fifth, you know, could be a tanky fifth or another AP, like an AP champion for the fifth, and basically it just completely dominates. It's just really strong, lots of mobility. You get especially if you get like an Ashe and you can initiate with that arrow, everyone jumps in, massive damage before anything can be done about it. You kite people to death, and they can't just focus one carry because there's obviously another carry there, and you've got two supports to just give massive extra damage. So you get like a Nunu, and he's putting blood boil on your Ashe, and then you got Sona, or you got Janna putting that extra damage on Ashe, so she's attacking faster and she's shooting and she's hitting harder. And then you got another carry and they're doing their thing too, and then my goodness, it's just crazy everything going on. And then you can't really chase them down because Ashe has got you slowed, and the Nunu pops his ult and you're slowed, and you got to get out of that, but you're slowed by her arrows, and man, it's just combination. And then you have like, you got like freaking up top you've got a Karthus, and he's farming up top. He's like, oh man, there's team fight. I'm gonna push R and win. Boom, and then everyone's dead. So that's kind of the EU meta, or you get like the massive teleport global thing going. And so right now, actually, that's what it is. It's like globals are so strong right now. You get Karthus and Twisted Fate. You get Ash Arrow. You get some teleports. And that's really the EU meta, is being able to run around and just gank people and be all over the map and mobility. And it's really paying off. I'd like to see more of it. I don't see US teams do that much because we're stuck in that whole tanky meta phase right now. And honestly, I hate playing tanks. I want to switch to the carry meta, man. That's me. That's what I like to do. I want to play dual carries. So when I go in a solo game, I want to pick a carry, and then I want another person to pick a carry, and no one's gonna freaking argue about it. In fact, I did this the other game. I was the last pick, and I was queuing up and somehow got last pick or whatever. It's random, but basically someone else picked, I don't know what they picked. It was like an Ash or something, and I had a Sona, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is so super strong in the bottom lane if she's got a good, good babysit, because she's got that long range and she can shoot her traps around. And so everyone was like, oh, we got a 2 carry, we lose, you noob, man. I was like, shut up, we got this, yo. And then I ended up like carrying the game. Is all great. So pretty excited about that. Anyhow, that's kind of how the EU meta is going, and hopefully the US can adapt. I'd hate to see CLG actually fall like that the next time they face these guys. I think they're going to be a little bit more prepared next time. We're just going to have to wait and see. But at this point in time, I'm definitely excited. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for these more metas to come out. I've been waiting for somebody to come in and kind of upset CLG a little bit and get them really on their toes. And I think they're going to be coming back strong with better strategies next time, and more, rethink their picks and bans so that EU doesn't face roll them. But overall, it's really heating up the competitive scene. What do you guys think? Have you been watching those high level matches whenever we stream them on Thursdays, Saturdays? We got the Friday night of the week coming up, all that good stuff. Can't wait. Obviously, since I can't do replays since they're all buggy, this is really my only chance to do commentary. So I'm super excited that I've been given the chance to do these, and I'm glad that I'm able to put these videos out there for people to watch and kind of learn from. And hopefully that can kind of spill over into the play of players like you and I who run in, and you want to see more metas like that being played and actually accepted in matches, because it seems to be like a trend for me when I go into games. I'm always trying to be like a step ahead. So back in the day, before WCG, I used to play Galio, and everyone's like, why are you picking Galio? He's bad, yo. And like I would play Galio on Rec Kids, and like, okay, whatever, you got lucky. And then WCG comes around, he's all first ban all the time. And then I start playing like Eve, and everyone's like, oh, why'd you pick Eve, you stupid noob? Eve's the worst champion in the game. And then I Rec Kids, and then now Eve's like banned, and then they nerf her, and it's just like the cycle keeps going on and on. I keep doing stuff that people like don't accept at the time. Like I played Teemo for the longest time, and they're like, oh, Teemo's bad, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again. Like people, they just get this thing in their head. They haven't seen a certain strategy work, and so they just automatically assume, oh, you're stupid and you're terrible and it's not gonna work, and then they just be negative, and they just berate the whole team, and it really brings everybody down. I'd really like to see more openness and people accepting strategies. Now I can understand if you've seen somebody do something and it fails, and it kind of gives you that stigma in your head where you see it again next time and you're like, oh man, it's gonna be bad. But you can't always go by that, because I used to do that a little bit. Like I used to think Karthus was the worst champion ever, and then I saw Peters play Karthus, and he's so freaking amazing that he just destroys kids. I even have a video up on my YouTube channel where he got like 4 quadras in one game with Karthus, and it was a ranked game with I was playing with like the Rain Man and him and some other kids. And anyways, it was crazy. But yeah, Karthus is super strong. In fact, I think Karthus is one of the most powerful champions in the game right now. It's just that nobody knows how to play him properly, and it's really exciting that I saw him in that ranked game against CLG, because you can really see how strong he was. He's able to be in every fight without being anywhere near the fight, just by pushing a button. So anyhow, that's kind of my rant on the emerging metas and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think and how you kind of feel about all that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and jump into some other things that I found kind of interesting and cool to talk about this past week. I found this really awesome video, man. You got to check this out. It's so hilarious. It's actually, I think I'm going to be taking some tips from this. What do you guys think? Like how to commentate better. This kid, he's a really good commentator. He knows how to really get you excited, and explain the situation really well. Let me just give you a clip from this kid how he commentates. This is actually for the game Heroes of New Earth, which I have no intention of ever playing, but man, I'm gonna take tips from this guy. Maybe my next commentary I'll do like this kid. Check it out.
Save him! Yeah, has to! Run up glass, yeah! Alright, I'm just gonna hook Jersey to save his life, and, you know, just, yeah. Carry Glacius! Run him, Carry Glacius! Kill him, yeah! Heal me, demented! Shit!
Yeah. Wow. And anyways, that goes on for like 10 freaking minutes, and I've watched it like 3 times already. It's, oh god, it's hilarious. Anyhow, put that in the link below. If you're watching on my website, you've already got it embedded. You can just click play, booyah. And so, anyhow, the other thing I found, I actually found an article. Did you realize that they're actually remaking the Halo, the original Halo Combat Evolved that was on the Xbox, the one that started it all? They are actually remaking this game with brand new graphics, you know, same like music, and I believe just complete revamp of graphics. I don't know if they're going to be doing new levels at all. It's supposed to be like the same kind of levels. They may add some new extra content and stuff like that. But man, that's awesome. Like, I used to love that game so much. You know, you run around with a sniper pistol, man. Shoot people from like 2,000 feet away with a pistol in the head. Boom, headshot. That's kind of how the old Halo was. But that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? I mean, are you excited to see that, or is it kind of like too old now? It's like you know, you don't care anymore. I don't know. I think it's kind of exciting and whatnot. So maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe not. I'm not sure. The other thing is, I feel bad for all of you guys, including myself, who picked up a game recently on the PlayStation 3 because you can't play online for, you know, whatever reason. They decided that they didn't feel like being secure when they created the network. So now some hackers came in and stole all your credit card information. They know all about you. They know where you live. They've got all your information. And so it sucks. Now they take down the network, and it's going to be down for who knows how long until they reprogram the entire infrastructure or whatever they're doing to it. Man, pretty sad. I picked up Mortal Kombat 9, and man, I love fighting games. You know, I used to play a lot of Street Fighter and whatnot, and so Mortal Kombat 9 we picked up this the other day with my roommate, and I've been learning all the combos and playing, and I beat the single player missions and played a little bit of the challenge tower. My roommate and I will sit on the couch when I'll beat him, and he'll get mad because he can't figure out why I'm so good. And yeah. Anyhow, have you guys been playing that and you're pissed off because you can't play it online? Like, I want to go online and see if I'm really as good as I think I am, you know, like so I can go online and get whooped and be like, oh. But yeah, definitely, I'm really pissed about that. Did you guys actually see the article, any of the articles about the Sony thing? Obviously you must have. I mean, it's been everywhere. Everyone's been talking about it. I guess I'll link an article down below talking about how all of your personal data has been stolen. Good thing I don't have any personal data on the PS3. It's my friend's PS3. I actually I'm more of an Xbox guy, to be honest. But then again, I don't own either console. I just play like my dad's console when I go to his house, or my roommate or whatever. So I'm more of a PC guy overall. Anyhow, but yeah, Mortal Kombat 9. Let's definitely talk about that. I would give you guys some videos of Mortal Kombat 9 and like some guides on that and stuff, but I don't really know how to record that. I think you have to buy some hardware to record off of the PS3. I'm not sure how that works, but let me show you a link that really helped me out to kind of learn how to chain together different combos, and this will probably help your game out a lot. If you can kind of go into practice mode and get used to doing some of these combos, then you can really learn how to do a lot of extra damage and punish your opponents. What I've learned is the game's more about like blocking at the right time and then picking up a combo and kind of hitting somebody at the right moment and kind of figuring out the different synergies between your special abilities and your normal combos. So check out this website. It's critical-bits.com, and it's got a lot of different videos and stuff on how to play Mortal Kombat 9, like how to do the different combos. Pretty useful overall. It's helped me out to kind of learn some of the champions. My favorite is Ermac and Kratos, actually. So since I'm playing the PS3, I believe Kratos, he's really slow, but man, he hit hard. So anyhow, that's this week. You know, like I said, I'm going to be trying to do these podcasts a little bit more regularly each week. And so if I have a lot of stuff to talk about, then it'll go longer. And if I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about, I'll just talk about a little bit of stuff, and it'll be a little bit shorter. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. You know, a little bit more content, something more regular that you can look forward to each week. Maybe like every, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. I'll try and figure out a day that works out for me in the future. But overall, thanks for watching. Definitely show all your friends. Go ahead and share it. And that's it for this week, though. So peace out, guys. Nice talking to you.